Well, turning now to the quiet stretch between Thanksgiving and New Year's. It isn't just busy, it's also physically demanding on the body. Changes in sleep, stress, sugar, alcohol, all the things and routines can certainly throw off our bodies out of balance, leading to headaches, fatigue, poor sleep, and even body aches. Virginia Spine Institute's Dr. Yash Mehta is here to explain why the holidays create a perfect storm for disruption and what we can all do to feel better heading into the new year. Dr. Mehta, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about how all of this impacts some of what we may not see directly when it comes to our headaches and just overall the way that we feel. Why do we sort of, experience those increased levels of maybe stress or all the things around this time?
All things, yes. Let's talk about it all one at a time.
Okay.
So stress is a good one that you mentioned, right? I was just driving in today and I was like, holidays are meant to be time of joy and family, but sometimes family stresses us out. Or the cooking that we have to do for the family stresses us out. And so stress increases the cortisol in our body. Around the holidays, our routines kind of break down. We're not as active as we were. We're staying up later than we used to be. We're eating a lot more sugar than we're used to. And so sugar spikes insulin, lack of sleep affects our melatonin. Like I said, stress affects our cortisol, and then alcohol, which we drink a lot more around the holidays, can affect all of this. And so then we're throwing our bodies into whack, and all of these hormones can cause a perfect storm to increase our headaches. Headaches are a symptom. They're not a diagnosis, but they're caused by all these things we talked about.
Yeah, it just sort of exacerbates the issue when you have all these other things added to it. So let's take a step back and let's talk about headaches. When we experience them, oftentimes, what could be the onset, or what's the sign that, something is going on when we experience a headache?
Yeah, so the sign is the headache, right? So I like to use this analogy. If someone's having a heart attack, the symptom is the chest pain. Or if someone has appendicitis, the symptom is the stomach pain. Headache is head pain. And so that is a symptom that something is going on. So headache is your symptom. I think when we think about, when you're saying signs, there's people that have migraines, which is a type of headache. And so then they're like, oh, I'm really sensitive to light, or I'm sensitive to sound. I need a quiet, dark place. That's a very specific, small subset of headaches. But most of us have tension headaches or headaches where our muscles are tight. And that is the sign itself. That is the trigger. And so then we have to dig deeper and say, hey, was I getting good sleep? Did I have a lot of sugar? Am I crashing out of caffeine and sugar? Am I dehydrated? Am I stressed? Are my muscles tight? And is that what's causing my headache? Because then I have to step back and kind of fix that root cause.
All right, so certainly something to get to be mindful of when it comes to just what your body is reacting to. Right here we have all the makings of a delicious hot cocoa bar.
Yes.
Something that many of us really love around this time of year. But go through each of these ingredients and how they can affect our bodies.
Yeah, for sure. And so I brought this here because it shows that, hey, I'm not different, right? This is my vice of choice around the holidays. So I love a hot cocoa, but what we put into it and ultimately into our body does affect us. And so I like to hot cocoa, right? But this has chocolate and sugar, and so sugar can spike. The sugar spikes our sugars, obviously, and causes an insulin surge to try to process that. But then when the sugar is kind of processed, then we have a crash out, right? And so then what we feel is maybe irritability, brain fog, fatigue, because now our body's recovering.
How do you balance that? Should you drink more water, or if
you should hydrate more, or maybe not take as much sugar. So, we use the analogy of a banana potentially has the same amount of sugar as a donut, but a banana has fiber and stuff. Fruits have natural fibers, natural sugars. So our body processes it slower. For example, it may take 4 hours to process the sugar in a banana, versus when you eat the donut, within 30 minutes, your system is hit with all that, and so the body has to scramble the process. So it's okay to eat sugar, but maybe in smaller quantities or more healthier sugars. And then chocolate has caffeine and also tyramine, and so caffeine is sometimes good, right? Keeps you awake, but then after the caffeine fades out, caffeine prevents the body from starting to feel tired, but then all of a sudden you feel tired all in one spurt, and so you crash in that sense. The tyramine can cause headaches in some people. And the reason I brought this is I like to make a peppermint hot chocolate. So I take some peppermint chocolate and put it in my hot cocoa. But this 1 cup has 75% of my daily sugar intake, which I will drink in 5 minutes. So it's not wrong to drink hot chocolate. I do it all the time. But am I drinking it once every couple of days during the holidays, or am I having 2 or 3 cups of hot chocolate in a day, which then takes a big toll on my body.
Certainly putting everything into perspective for us this morning.
Exactly.
But moderation, it sounds like, is just key when it comes to all of these things.
You beat me to the punchline.
Yeah.
Patients say, what is the one thing? And I say, it's not one thing, it's everything in moderation.
Yeah.
There's a verse from the Bhagavad Gita from chapter 6 that basically says that, everything in moderation, whether it be sleep, are we getting 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep? Are we moderate in our hydration, in lack of hydration? So are we making sure we're hydrating? Have some sugar, but don't go overboard on the sugar.
Okay.
So all of that, everything, and then make sure we stay active.
Of course. All right, got to get the body moving. Dr. Mehta, unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you so much. We have your information on the screen.
Awesome.
We appreciate you for stopping by. Happy
Thanks for
holidays.
having me. Happy holidays.